Hello guys, welcome to the Wars and Weapons channel. In this video, we're going to talk about a legendary weapon at the time it was invented, around 672 AD, after the Christian Jesus was born. Now, we see flamethrowers in the form we see today. In that form, the Germans actually invented that during the World Wars in order to deal with the infantry of the enemy countries. Now, that form was actually invented by the Germans, and it reads to flamethrowers, or whatever that reads to. And, as I said, it's the shape of flamethrower that we see today. But today we're going to talk about the father of all flamethrowers being the Greek fire. Now, the Greek fire was actually not used in the Punic Wars, which we talked about in our last two videos, but it was actually used mainly in the Crusades. In order to take down naval ships. Now, I am trying to mainly make way to talk about the Third Crusade in my next few videos. So the Greek fire was actually used to take down ships because it was not so effective on land. It was effective during sieges, like many siege equipment such as siege towers, battering rams, and other things were usually made out of wood. Now, those things actually had to get close, but it was not as effective, such as the Greek fire couldn't destroy things like the catapults, which were actually built in order to destroy walls from a distance, and the Greek fire actually couldn't do anything in order to hurt them. Now, the battering ram and the siege tower could actually be dealt with by the Greek fire, so they actually had some use on land, but it was mainly useless because of its weakness against infantry, and most of the things at the time were actually reinforced with metal, such as shields were one of them. They were no longer made out of wood, they were made out of strong iron, and they were actually bigger than the shield that were before the Greek fire, such as a Roman soldier. If I were to point a Greek fire at a Roman soldier or any soldier from any other country, and start firing, they will usually take their shield up against me, and my fire won't be able to reach them. It will reach the shield and then it gets deflected. So it was not so effective on land. But where it was effective was where wood was mainly used. And where was wood mainly used? In ships, because at the time they did not have any way, they haven't invented any way in order to put metal on water and make it float. So the ships weren't made out of metals and were made out of wood, and could have easily been drowned by using fire. Now you may ask, well, why did they have to use a Greek fire? They could easily use, they could light an incendiary arrows, and at the time they were a thing, and just point it toward the ship and fire, or they could just use any other kind of fire, like they can just light a torch and throw it on the enemy ship. Now, there was a main difference, a main advantage by the Greek fire, because the Greek fire actually had the ability to burn on water. Now, the reason for this is actually laying within the fuel that the Greek fire used, because the Greek fire actually used a secret substance that is not known, which actually contained naphta, crude oil, or petroleum. So it actually had the ability to float on water. The fuel actually had the ability to float on water, because as we all know, oil can float on water, so does petroleum. So it actually was extremely easy to light things on fire on ships, and light ships on fire, because the fire couldn't have been turned off by using water. No matter how much the crew would have tried, they could not put out the fire on their ships using any kind of water. They had to watch their own ships burn. And then it also had some other substances in the fuel, such as, it might have actually had those, because as I said, it's a secret substance, it's not known. It might have contained niter or calcium phosphorate and other things such as sulfur, which we talked a lot about in our video about guns and gunpowder. Now, after that, the Greek fire was actually obsolete after the ships started adding metal plating and other things to them, and stopped them from getting burned, such as the Arabs actually had their ships made out of wood, and they yet haven't had the technology of Greek fire. So actually in the Crusades, The Great Fire actually saved the city of Constantinople, or today's Istanbul, from being sieged by the Arabs, not only once but twice. Using like this under the Christian ships, they could easily burn any kind of like Muslim soldiers on their ships and stop them from reaching Constantinople, to help strengthen the siege, or even break the siege off entirely by burning the ships that were sieging the city, and actually helped the city twice. And actually, it was one of the main reasons that the Byzantine Empire managed to stand still for quite longer than what it could have. So it was actually a great weapon, but after, as I said, became obsolete with the use of metals and ships and other things, so that like it no longer burned the ship and other things. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the war bell to be notified of the rest of the wars that will occur on the channel later. Thank you for watching again, and stand by for the next video.